Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, January 18th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will still be moving around. That's because the market's open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol BFRG. And overall, very eventful day, big volume, big price movement. And now we have some very key levels here that have established themselves. First key level in terms of areas of resistance where the sellers showed up several times today, right here around the 405 mark. I'm trying to split the difference here because I do realize at that point the price didn't quite hit it. And then right here, the price actually went up above it. So just finding the common ground, we'll call it right around, I think I said 405, but it looks like more so 403 is going to be that key area of resistance. And then in terms of areas of support, we have this dynamic right here. So let me change that to green to represent support. And then maybe to keep it all one color to map out the actual pattern. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big upwards move here, we have the golf hole down here, and this would be a bull pennant pattern. So maybe that makes it a little bit more visual for you golfers out there. So while nothing is guaranteed, is it at least plausible that if the price comes down here, you could get a bounce from the trend line? Yes, not guaranteed, but plausible. Or if the price then carries back up to the top part of the pattern and gets the break there, could that break create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible scenario where you just begin that technical pattern breakout. But the point here being is you have a nice, well-defined pattern. You have a pretty, popular price range down here below the $10 mark. So we'll see if the price can indeed get a turnaround and break back up to the top upside or not. Next one here, ticker symbol PHUN. Big gap down today after the news. So I'm going to do a little bit of house cleaning here, just get rid of these levels. But first key update that played out perfectly today just comes on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. And you can see this morning, nasty gap down, but a good bounce up. But surprise, surprise, look right where the price found some resistance before heading back down. And now as I speak, you can see the price is right there at that purple line, which is the 50-period moving average. Very, very important level of support, which leads to the first question mark headed into Thursday. Is this purple line going to hold? Is it going to bounce? Is it going to continue on down on Thursday? That'll remain to be seen. If the price does continue on down, then next level of support, really not until all the way down here at that pink line, the 200-period moving average. Not saying that necessarily the price will go down to that level, but just technically speaking, that would be the next major area of support. If the price does turn itself around, though, then as already talked about, this area right here at the 24-cent mark will be that key level. But yeah, no doubt about it. Rough day today. Tried to bounce, but then got rejected back down. Now it's really all about that 50-period moving average, and can the price stay above it? Next one here, ticker symbol MIMO, and good solid pattern here. So it just goes back to the talking point of when you have, patterns that a lot of people are watching, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So let me get this all in place here. There we have the top part of it. Change that bottom part to green, or green to represent support. And then once again, keep it one color to hopefully make it easier to see. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the huge explosion right there. Got the golf hole down here for you golfers, and we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So if the price can work its way and battle back up to the top part of that pattern, that could very realistically create that much more buying pressure, even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you have a bunch of people watching a bull pennant, and then all of a sudden the bull pennant is broken, and I'm supposed to buy because I'm a breakout trader, and that thing's breaking out of the pattern, so I buy. Yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy, those things are very real. They're not guaranteed to happen, but like I said, it's something that would be very plausible. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, ticker symbol MARA, and yes, another new low here, but I like the pattern here that is formed, so I'm going to get rid of these levels because we have a bullish pattern, although it sounds like it would be a bearish pattern. But let me first get it drawn into place. So we have our support part of the pattern right there, and then on the flip side of things, we have our get that extended out, resistance part of it right there, and this would be a falling wedge pattern. Now you would think falling wedge would be a bearish pattern, but actually a rising wedge is the bearish one. Falling wedge is a bullish pattern, And going back to that point of self-fulfilling prophecies, this is not a great discovery on my part. You got to think that a lot of people have at least drawn in that trend line right there, so they're watching it. But when you notice that level right there of the support trend line, you get that nice falling wedge pattern, which is one of my favorite patterns. And the good news here is the price, as I speak, is knocking on the top part of that pattern. So the question mark moving into Thursday is, can that level break? And if it does, can it gain more momentum? And with a momentum surge, the next big battleground will be that purple line up there, the 50 period moving average. But one hurdle at a time. Let's see if the price can first clear that hurdle right there of the top part of the wedge. But yes, if you like falling wedge patterns, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, AMC, and unbelievably, again, new lows. I mean, I can't remember the last time this thing did not put in a new low, but we have that again. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this support level down because it's that straightforward. In terms of establishing levels of support, you got to ask yourself the question, where did the bleeding finally stop today? And the bleeding finally stopped at the big old round number right there of the $4 mark. So $4 going to be the key level, which is not shocking to see buyers stepped in there. It is just a big round number, and that's where buyers tend to hang out. But if this move, now to give some credit where credit's due, a nice bounce from $4 up to where it is now. Good solid bounce. Is there genuine power behind it? That remains to be seen. But if the price does roll back over, then yeah, $4 is definitely that level that you would want to see hold strong. In terms of levels of resistance, if this bounce continues, I'm going to go ahead and adjust this area down a little bit now that we have more data and call the near-term level right there at about 425. And then after 425, like we were just looking at on MARA, you have that down-sloping 50-period moving average right there, the purple line. But yeah, nice bounce late day. Throughout the course of the afternoon, can this bounce continue? Will it maintain its momentum? Will it be able to get up to that 425 mark and push above it? Certainly some interesting questions headed into Thursday. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to click to get signed up. Or if you're watching on my site itself, there's an area on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live webinar. Next one here, ticker symbol SAVE. Did this one yesterday after the just absolute bloodshed. And now it's interesting because we at least have not so much drama. And I wish I could say trading was this easy, but it's not. I wish I could say that, well, the price finally just went sideways in a tight little range. So because it went sideways in a tight little range, then that means that for sure guaranteed the sellers are done and that this thing is getting ready to turn back upwards. If only it were that easy. But my point here is, does it become more plausible? Is it valid to throw out the suggestion that, hey, look at this sideways price movement. Look at the tight little range. Maybe just maybe the selling pressure is done, and maybe just maybe this thing's getting ready to turn around. That is certainly a plausible conclusion to reach. Not guaranteed, which is why risk management matters, but a plausible scenario. So on that note, I do want to map out the area of support. And again, nothing fancy here, just a question of, where did the bleeding essentially stop? Right down there around the $5.80 mark, which you can see here was a low right there, and then a low again right there. So as long as the price stays above that area, then it becomes more and more plausible that the selling's done, and that the buyers have stepped in enough to potentially create a push up to the upside. And if the price does start to bounce, main area of resistance in the near term right there at 680, with the next one up there right around the 775 mark. So yeah, definitely an interesting scenario. Is the selling pressure done? Let's see what happens. Next one here, ticker symbol PLUG. As you're seeing, just to give a little more context, this thing has been absolutely beat down. But what I find interesting is, let me first just get this line in place here. Very steep trend line. There's no doubt about it as I put that in place. But you can see now how the price is right at the trend line. Right at the trend line. I'll zoom back in so we can see it here a little bit better. But you can see the price is right at that level, which leads to an exciting question. The question being, headed into Thursday, is it going to break? And if so, is that break going to be the start of something even bigger? Now, to be fair, maybe it doesn't break. Maybe this thing gets rejected and rolls right back over. But that is a two-sided coin because, well, maybe it does break and maybe it picks up a whole lot more momentum for a big old move back to the upside. And from a trading standpoint, that's what we're looking for. And that's what a watch list is all about. Finding unique, finding interesting situations, not randomly rushing out and buying stuff, but watching it. So maybe you're looking at this situation and say, Clay, I don't find this interesting at all. This is not, then fine. This one's not going to be on your watch list. But this is nonetheless, for some people, going to be, especially those breakout players that like to catch those bottoms, this could be a very interesting scenario. So price is knocking on that trend line. Will it break? Will it build that much more momentum? Definitely Thursday is going to be pretty interesting. Next one here, ticker symbol NIO, and gap down, battled back upwards, which is good. And what I'm curious about moving forward is let's see if this level here at 625 can hold. And to my mind, 625 is very important because if the price were to come down to it and then break down below it, what would that be doing to the price? Well, that would quite literally be putting the price right back in that area where it just was. I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that make it move upwards and then go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine strength. So I'm not saying that 625 won't hold. I'm just explaining why, in my opinion, that's a very important level because it's essentially going to show us, is the price making progress or is the price going back to where it was? And given no price can go straight up, the ultimate goal is just to have progress. And again, in this situation, quote unquote, progress being defined as 625. In terms of areas of resistance, I'm just going to go ahead and drop this level down as a near-term level now of resistance. I would classify right there around 645. So yeah, no doubt about it. Nice bounce from these lows, but is this bounce got genuine strength behind it? Let's see if it can start to show signs of progress. Next one here, ticker symbol TSLA Tesla. And first update is just based on that rule that I talked about before. When levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So moving forward, if this good solid bounce during the last 30 minutes here continues, then yeah, that 217 mark is going to be the main area, or I should say the initial main level of resistance. And then like a few others that we've already talked about, next key level after that would be that purple line up there, 50-period moving average. So 217 and then the 50-period moving average, main areas of resistance moving forward. In terms of areas of support, main level, going to be right down here, which is essentially where it bounced from yesterday at the 212 mark. So if you go back to yesterday morning, you can see the price got a nice bounce off it right there. And then once again, held strong, actually held strong there a couple of times. So apparently, given the data we now have, a lot of people, a lot of buyers are hanging around that 212 mark, which also illustrates that if the price were to break down below 212, you got to think that would create a whole nother wave of downward selling pressure because that would imply that a lot of people that were buying are now underwater, and then if stop losses are starting to go off, so that can create a cascade effect there. But as of now, the price has bounced very nicely. It still is bouncing, so we'll see if this bounce continues into Thursday. Next one here, ticker symbol TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to go up, this one will also go up, and it makes it a very popular ETF. And yes, as I speak right now, check out the last 30 minutes. Absolutely beast move here. Broke through the pink line there, which was a big step because you can see that pink line, 200-period moving average, opening 30 minutes, rejected, rejected, rejected. But then right here, did not reject, has broken through it, which now all eyes turn to the younger brother of the 200-period moving average, that 50-period moving average, and can the price break above there? That's certainly going to be the main question asked moving forward, and it's a very valid question because that is certainly going to be an important area of resistance to watch, early on Thursday. If the price does pull back, then the ideal level that you would want to see hold strong is that pink line there. You would want to see that resistance now acting as support, so keep an eye on that. If the price does not hold above it, then let me get then you do have a support trend line right there that you could also use. But yeah, preferably speaking, you'd want to see the price stay above that pink line. But no doubt about it, very, very powerful final 30 minutes. Is this a leading indicator of more momentum to come on Thursday? We'll see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to go get signed up for that free live webinar. That'll be tomorrow, Thursday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do a couple things. Hit the like button, leave a comment, tell me what you traded today, give me your watch list for tomorrow. But those two things help out the videos, help out the channel, and I thank you in advance. So go get signed up for that free webinar. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one.